Hey everybody, this is Jake with Covenant Homes, back again for another little educational snippet. Today we are going to talk about some wall assemblies, actually one wall assembly in particular. And the question is, what is ideal for our environment? So let's get started. So requirements for our area, we need to have the ability to dry our wall assembly in both directions. This is because we are a mixed dry climate. We do have lots of hot days, but we also have lots of cold days. So we do, as it shows there on the right, in the summer we need to be able to dry to the inside because it's typically hotter outside than it is to the inside. So vapor drive will be inward. And then during the cooler times of the year where the inside of the house is warmer than the outside, the vapor drive will be towards the outside. So we need that moisture laden air to be able to escape both to the inside and to the outside. And then let's talk about what type of sheathing for just a quick second. So in our area, the current sheathing that most contractors are using is zip sheathing. Zip is a fine sheathing. It has an integrated WRB layer on the outside. However, the issue with it is not so much the integrated WRB, it's the fact that it's OSB, it's oriented strand board. And in our environment, the permeance or the permeability or the ability for vapor to go through it is much lower than plywood. So plywood is actually a better choice for us to be using for our exterior sheathing in our market. Interior air barrier. So most people now, again, as they're using zip sheathing, they're using it also as the air barrier on the outside of their buildings. Because we have almost double the cooling degree days, what that means is, like on the right where it says fall, you could also say winter. We have lots of outward vapor drive. If you don't have an interior air barrier, you're letting unnecessary moisture laden air to enter your wall assembly during those periods of heating. So we do want an interior air barrier, not an exterior air barrier, ideally. All right, let's move on to our proposed wall assembly. So this is from the exterior part of the wall, from interior to exterior. So we have our plywood exterior sheathing. Outside of that, we do need to have some type of WRB. It could be self-adhered, like Siga MyVest. They have a SA version, self-adhered version, or a stapled WRB. This could be Solitex Mento from Intello. There's lots of other ones. Outside of that, we're going to have continuous insulation on the exterior of our building. So wood fiber insulation would be great. Mineral wool insulation. Because we have continuous insulation on the exterior, we can stick to 2x6 wall framing. If we don't, we need to go up to 2x8s or even double stud walls to reach thicknesses of 10 to 12 inches thick. Outside the continuous insulation, we're going to have a rain screen and vented siding so that wall assembly can dry. So this is just a picture here. Actually, let's go back. So the picture there on the right is Siga MyVest being applied onto plywood. And this picture has Solitex Mento as their WRB layer, and then they're putting on wood fiber Goodtex wood fiber insulation on the exterior of the building. And you can see for the windows, you do have to install a window buck to put that interface of the window and the exterior siding further out. All right, now on the interior, from exterior to interior, we've got our standard wall framing. 2x6 is fine if you have exterior sheathing. And I put advanced sheathing. We can do 24-inch on center wall studs. We can get rid of unnecessary headers if it's not a load-bearing wall. Then inside that, we're going to recommend dense pack cellulose. And then like we were talking earlier, inside that you're going to have the air barrier, Intello Plus in this case. There's other ones you can use. Then a service cavity, and then the drywall. So you can see over there on the right, we've got our standard spruce pine fir 2x6 framing. That's OSB, but we'll be using plywood. And then you have your dense pack cellulose or mineral wool, whatever you want to use, Havelock wool for insulation. Then you have your air barrier, the Intello Plus, and then this is just furring strips to give you your service cavity, and then drywall over here. All right, so now just kind of putting it all together, let's go from outside to inside. So we have just lap siding, that could be James Hardie, LP SmartSide, whatever you want to use. And then vertical battens, this is our rain screen to make the siding vented. And then inside that, we're going to have wood fiber insulation. Again, it could be mineral wool, whatever exterior continuous insulation you want to use. Inside that, we're going to have our WRB. I actually put that air in the wrong spot. The WRB should be adhered to the outside of the plywood or the sheathing layer here. And then you've got your standard framing 2x6 wall studs. And then you've got your insulation. In this case, they put Havelock wool there. I put dense pack cellulose over here. Interior air barrier, your battens for the service cavity, and then drywall and finish it however you'd like. So that's really it, guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, give me a shout. info@covenant.homes. You can send us a message on Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to talk about any more details or questions that y'all have. Let's do one more of these wall assembly videos. We'll probably do a double stud wall because in our area, a lot of people like brick on the outside of their houses. This wall assembly that I showed you today is not ideal for brick. So we'll do one more to show you what we would recommend if we were going to use brick. All right, y'all have a blessed day. See ya.